Marquise Love Robinson, 20-year-old male from Columbia. He's charged with 9 counts of assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature, attempted murder, unlawful carry of a handgun. He's housed in the Lexington County Detention Center. A bond hearing is scheduled for tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Additionally, the suspect that we arrested Saturday after the shooting, Mr. Dwayne Price, he continues to be housed in the Lexington County Detention Center. We will be adding 9 additional charges of aggravated assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature, as well as attempted murder, to his current charge of unlawful carry. We've also obtained arrest warrants for our 3rd suspect. That is Omari Sincere Jamal Smith. He has a nickname of Mari. He's a 21-year-old male from Columbia. He's wanted for 9 counts of assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature, attempted murder, and unlawful carry of a pistol. We're asking for the public's assistance in locating Mr. Smith. If anyone sees him or knows his whereabouts, we're asking him to call 911 or call our tip line that was set up for this incident at 803-545-3525. And he absolutely should be considered armed and dangerous. We also have an update on our victims. We have a 15th victim that reported to law enforcement yesterday during some interviews. We learned that this victim was injured while standing beside someone that was hit by gunfire. So that brings our total number of victims to 15. That was a non-life-threatening injury, obviously. We still have 9 confirmed gunshot victims, 1 that remains in ICU, and a total of 6 victims that suffered other injuries related to the incident. The motive for the shooting hasn't changed since what I briefly mentioned to. There was some type of ongoing dispute between the people that we've identified as suspects so far. We have seized 2 handguns that we believe were used in the shooting. We've collected ballistic evidence from the scene. That will be processed at the state law enforcement lab. I've got to express my sincere thanks to the public that has contacted us that were at the mall or knew somebody that was at the mall that had information, that reached out to our tip line. I would also express my appreciation to the 11th Circuit Solicitor, Rick Hubbard, and his staff, who we have been in constant consultation with since this started. And lastly, I want to acknowledge the outstanding work of all of our investigators in the Criminal Investigations Bureau. They haven't stopped since Saturday. They've worked around the clock and have just done a tremendous job on that. So we still have a lot of work to do. We still are asking the public to call if they have information. Again, this was a traumatic event for a lot of people that were at the mall, and we understand that takes sometimes a moment for things to register, for you to remember things. So as you do, we're asking that you call us and let us know, what you might have seen or heard. Every little piece of information is helpful. I'll try to address a few questions.
Do we have any new information in terms of the relationship between Mr. Price, Sincere Jamal, and Mr. Robinson?
Just that we can acknowledge there was some acquaintance. They had run into each other before.
So we don't have any insight as to what the nature of that conflict was?
Not that I'm sharing with you, other than they did know each other.
Were there any prior arrests or charges against any of these individuals?
There's nothing that we're at liberty to discuss at this briefing.
The 9 counts of aggravated assault, is that to signify that the bullets from Mr. Price and perhaps the other gentleman, Mr. Robinson, hit 9 individuals, or that they just fired near 9 individuals, or what would be the significance of that?
We had 3 people showed up at a crowded mall on a Saturday night carrying weapons, and they fired their guns, and we had 9 people hit by gunfire.
Do you guys usually prepare for holidays? Do you expect violence like this around, big holidays like this?
Of course not. At a public mall like that, do we expect violence? Absolutely not. This was, a tragic event that, we mentioned Saturday that unfortunately we have to prepare for, but, there was no information that would give us concern that anything was, was planned to happen. We do believe that this was just a happened circumstance that occurred with these individuals, but because of an ongoing dispute and the fact that they all were armed, emotions took over, and you had firearms that were introduced into a dispute, and gunfire was exchanged, and innocent people got injured in the crossfire.
Yes, sir. And I know, too, you and Sheriff Lott have been talking about gun violence in the community quite a bit lately. Is there any message that you would like to send to the public in that regard?
I mean, something's got to change. We need our legislators to legislate. We need more accountability for people that illegally and carry firearms. This is not an indictment on gun ownership. This is an indictment on the availability of firearms on the street for people that have illegal intentions or nefarious intentions to use those firearms against others.
For Mr. Robinson's unlawful possession charge, did he own that gun legally and just not have a CWP, or what was the nature of that?
We're not going to discuss the ownership. What I'll emphasize, if you had 3 people that brought guns into a crowded mall that were in dispute with one another and chose to pull their guns and fire their guns, and 9 people were shot.
Was this a premeditated conflict on behalf of?
All right, so you were just listening to Columbia Police Chief Skip Holbrook giving an update there. Real quick wrap up, they just announced the arrest of a 2nd suspect, and they also announced they are looking for a 3rd suspect as well. That 3rd suspect is Omari Sincere Jamal Smith. Nickname is Omari, 21 years old, should be considered armed and dangerous. All 3 of those men, of course, charged with aggravated assault. As you heard the police chief say, those 3 brought their guns into a crowded mall and started shooting. Unfortunately, 9 people were hit. One of those victims still in the ICU, and they just announced that a 6th person who was not shot by the gunfire but was injured as a result of probably people scrambling around, that kind of thing. They just announced another person was injured with non-life-threatening injuries. And once again, this has been the case from the beginning. They say it started with an ongoing dispute between different groups that, of course, started the shooting. We're going to stay on top of that. We've got a lot more news to bring you. We'll be right back after this.